to start the video today, I wanted to let you guys know where we're going to be very soon. So the first weekend in August, we're going to be at Schaumburg, Illinois, August 2nd and 3rd, that weekend. That following weekend, we're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's the 9th and the 10th. And then the third weekend in August, we're going to be in Daytona, Florida on the 16th and the 17th. And having said all that, we're going to be super busy. We're going to have all three companies at all of those shows, Rice Reptiles, Reptico, as well as F1 Habitats. And don't forget, F1 Habitats, we're launching our new reptile enclosure company, and we always have free shipping. So please keep that in mind and come visit us and see what you think about our enclosures. And before we get started on the video, I made a mistake in the video that I'm going to go ahead and admit at the beginning so no one thinks I'm crazy. So when I started talking about the foam inserts in the boxes that you need, I said that you need 1/2 inch styrofoam inserts. You do not. That's incorrect. You need 3/4 inch, and 3/4 inch is what we use, and that's what you need to use as well. So on to the video. Hey guys, this is Dawn Rice with Rice Reptiles, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to package snakes and how to ship them appropriately. I've had a lot of requests, actually it shows, asking me to do this video, and I've never done a YouTube video before, so this is the first time for me. But I would like to show you and see what you think about the way that I package. For me personally, this has been a very successful way to package the snakes and to get them where they need to be safely. If I've always thought about if I watch one video, even though it's on a very simple topic, for example, like this video is talking about how to package snakes and how to ship them, then most people know how to already do that. But if I can learn one trick or one thing that I did not know beforehand, then it's definitely worth watching the video. So if you will, stay with me. I know this is a simple topic, but again, you may pick up on one thing that helps you. And to be honest with you, I probably can ship successfully 11 months out of the year and not have any issues whatsoever. And so I'm just going to share the things that I do with you guys, and hopefully this helps any of you that are shipping as well. And we're going to be discussing shipping as far as ball pythons to western hognose to geckos as well. So to start with, I use two main size boxes. There are so many different size boxes available out there, but I mainly focus on two sizes. The size that I use almost all of the time, I would say 80% of the time, is this 12 by 9 by 6 box. Okay, this box is the smallest box that I use, even if I'm shipping a very small hatchling or even one gecko. The smallest box I'm going to use is a 12 by 9 by 6. And that's just for the simple fact that this animal is going to have room in this box. There's also going to be room for a heat pack or a cold pack or a phase pack, whatever is necessary. And also, I use the thickest foam inserts as well. And the 1/2 inch is the best. It's going to hold the heat the best. It's going to hold the cold the best. Whatever you need it to do, it does a really great job. So if we start out talking about ball pythons, for example, I can put 2 hatchlings in here, 3 hatchlings in here very easily, that are small snakes that are, you know, within just a couple of months old. And Chase with Canova has joked with me because I use a phase pack no matter what I'm doing. And I'm in South Georgia. It's hot here a lot of the majority of the year actually. But just to be safe, I always put in a phase pack. It doesn't matter what temperature it is. It doesn't matter what season it is. I'm going to put in a phase pack just to be safe so that I can sleep better at night knowing that the animal has it in there. And what the phase pack basically does in a room temperature setting like this one, right? It's pliable. That this phase pack is going to absorb extra heat to keep the box cooler during the process of shipping, and then it's also going to absorb the cold and keep the box warmer if necessary. So it serves two purposes, and when you get a phase pack, I've had people reach out to me and say, why did you put a cold pack in here? It's cold. No, actually what the face pack is doing is it's absorbing the cold and then turning it into a solid. And then vice versa, if it's hot, it's going to stay this same state the entire time, and it's going to be pliable. Again, it just works, right? It just makes sense for peace of mind to have a face pack in with every animal that I send, whether it's a ball python, whether it's a crested gecko or a western hognose. I'm going to put a face pack in there. If it's especially during the spring and the fall, that's my main time you're going to see a face pack. If it's in between those seasons, then I'm still going to use a face pack just to be safe, okay? All right, so going into the winter months, okay, I use the Uniheat 72-hour packs. I love the 72-hour packs because if a reptile gets held over in, delayed shipping in some kind of way, then this heat pack is going to stay hot for 72 hours. And I have tested it, and they do work well. They do hold their heat. They do lessen the amount of heat that they expose, and it's not the heat pack that you would use that puts out a lot of heat right at the beginning, which is not what you want. You want it to be a consistent heat consistently for 72 hours, and that's what this pack does. So the Uniheat 72-hour multi-purpose. Again, I use this with every animal that I ship if it's in the winter and I'm worried about the animal getting too cold. Now, in the summer, like right now, if I ship you something today, what I'm going to use is I'm going to freeze the same face pack that you guys saw here, but I'm going to make it in a solid frozen state. I'm going to have it ready and frozen. And then I'm also going to add a cold pack. And the reason why I do that is because when this actually becomes a liquid and is no longer a solid because it's melted, then the frozen face pack that I put beside it in a Ziploc bag because I don't want it to leak in any kind of way, is going to serve the purpose of absorbing the coldness and it's keeping the box colder for a much longer period of time. So when I ship, I get all of the air out of the bag and I seal it nice and tight, and I fold it over like this, and I put it in the box away from the animal. So, for example, if I've got a gecko over here or a ball python over here, I'm going to put this away from the animal, and then I'm going to use the packing paper. And I'm going to stuff that very heavily between the actual phase pack, cold pack, heat pack, whatever may be in that situation, and then the animal. You don't want the animal ever touching the pack that you're putting in there to keep it regulated in temperature. Also, if you're shipping a western hognose, if you're shipping a ball python, you want ventilation. So what you're going to do is you're going to put holes in the box. Now I don't have to do this for geckos, right? Crested geckos, but I do for ball pythons and for western hognose. So I would put a hole through the box, holding the foam down so that I know that it's going all the way through the foam. For extra ventilation, I just feel like it's better to have more. So I will put 2 holes like this on both sides of the box. Okay? So that's for ventilation. I'm also going to do that with the next size up box that I use. And the next box that I use that is less common but needed as well a lot of times is the 15 by 15 by 9. And that box is used for adult snakes. That box is used for multiple animals in a box. For example, this box can hold 4 crested geckos as well. Okay? So you can't see it probably very well, but the 15 by 15 by 9 is the other size that I use most commonly, but not near as much as this one. This is my go-to, 12 by 9 by 6, okay? All right, so some people have also asked me, do you use the packing tape or do you use the textured tape with the logos? And my answer is I only actually use this tape. So if I'm shipping geckos, I'm using Reptico tape. If I'm shipping ball pythons, I'm using Reptiles tape. The fibers that are in the tape hold it very nice and snug. I've had no issues at all, ever. And so I don't use transparent tape at all. I use the logo tape on the bottom, and when I get done packing my snake or my gecko, I will use the same logo tape on the top as well. And then I would put my label, and then of course my wildlife harmless live animal sticker on there identifying what species I'm shipping. Okay, so that's the main two sizes that I use for boxing. Going over to bags for ball pythons, I use 3 main sizes. The most common size, because we sell the most hatchlings, is an 8x20. Okay, so this is a cotton 8x20. I use this one probably 80% of the time when I'm shipping ball pythons. Most of my babies, again, are shipped as a hatchling. My next size I use, the second most, is my 12x30, which is my subadults. So basically, when I put the snake in there, I will twist it like this, and I'll get a knot, and then the animal's of course here, and I will twist it, and I will just turn it and hold it like this. And then I will take 2 rubber bands just to be safe, and I will take it just like this, just like you would put a ponytail in a girl's hair, and I would go around like this, and it's good and snug and tight. Now, this serves the purpose of holding the snake, but also it makes it easier for the person receiving the snake to be able to get to their animal. So once they get their animal, let's say this has arrived, they're doing a live video on unboxing the snake, then they can simply do like this, pull, the rubber band comes off, and the bag is open. But it was snug during the entire trip as well, so keep that in mind. So that, again, is my second most common size for subadults or small adults, and it's a 12x30. And then for my adults, I use a 16x28. Also, I put paper towels in the bottom of all of these in case there is an accident along the way. But this is a 12, let me go back and double check that. This is a 16x28. So this is the one I use for my adults. And I still use the same technique, right? I would do it more toward the top this time. But again, 2 rubber bands holds this snake very tightly and securely without it escaping. And then again, you can pull it, and then the rubber band comes off for the person receiving the animal. So that's really a nice feature because people a lot of times are going to do live boxing videos of your animals, and you don't want it difficult for them to be able to get into that bag, because it's going to slow them down. Their video is going to slow down. The people watching the video might lose attention, and so that's not at all what you want. Okay. All right. So I use, this is a 3-foot wide brown packing paper. You can order this from Uline or Amazon, and that's where I get that supply. Okay. I get my logo tape as well as my stickers. So Reptico stickers, right, and Rice Reptile stickers. I order both of these items from Sticker Mule. Okay. Sticker Mule has, for us, been the most reasonable, and we order in bulk. So the more you buy, the more you save. And then it's just up to you preference on boxes. There's many different box people out there that produce boxes. Again, I would say just the most important thing is that you're putting in a 1/2-inch foam. That's very important. So once I've got everything boxed in there, my box is ready. I'm going to put a receipt on top, so the customer knows exactly what the genetics are of the animal. They're going to know, and they're going to be able to read that. So again, if they're doing a live, that's going to be a nice feature for them. And then on top of that, I'm going to put like the stickers in the receipt, right, for whichever company I'm shipping for. And again, the 12x9x6 is the box that I go to 90% of the time. Remember, don't forget to do your ventilation holes on both sides. If it's in the winter and you're worried about the animal getting too cold, Uniheat 72 hour heat pack. It doesn't put out a pile of heat that's super radiant and hot right off the beginning. It keeps it nice and consistent and warm for 72 hours, and it lasts a long time. So that's great for any reptile that you need to ship. My go-to is a face pack. I don't care what time of the year it is. I don't care what season. I'm going to put a face pack in there just to make myself feel better, because this is going to absorb heat if needed and keep the box cooler, or absorb the cold and keep the box warmer, just based on whatever it needs to do. This is a really cool feature. And then again, just a quick recap. The other size box I use most commonly is the 15 by 15 by 9, which is what I use for adult ball pythons, or if I have multiple geckos I need to ship, I would say 5 or more geckos, I'm putting it in the 15 by 15 by 9. You can put 2 or 3 subadults in a 15 by 15 by 9, or a large adult. And going for the last aspect of shipping, my 3 most common bag sizes I use are 8 by 20 for my small hatchlings, and then a 12 by 30 for my subadults, and then for my adults, a 16 by 28 are the 3 most common sizes I use in bags. And then I showed you the technique with the rubber band and how I keep those nice and neat and also very secure, but at the same time, the person opening the bag can open it easily when they're doing a live unboxing. So that's a nice feature. Again, guys, if you have any questions about any of this, just comment below. If I skip something, again, it's my first YouTube video. If I skip something, please just comment below and ask me a question. I'll be glad to help you out. Amazon Uline brown packing paper. This is 36 inch. This is just easily handleable. It's not too big, it's not too small. It doesn't take a lot of tears. It does the work for me. Let's see if there's anything I've left out. So I think that's mainly it, guys. If you got any questions, let me know. You can reach out to us. So at Rice Reptiles, we are, our website is ricereptiles.net. And then on Instagram, we're Rice Family Reptiles, because Rice Reptiles was taken. Then also, don't forget about our other companies. So Reptico, Chaney's company, that sells Western Hognose as well as crested geckos. You can reach them at official Reptico on Instagram, and then the email is office@reptico.com. And then we just launched the actual Cajun building company, which we're super excited about, and that company is called F1 Habitats. And you can find F1 Habitats on Instagram, just like it says, or also f1habitats.com. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in today and sticking with me to the end. I'm a teacher, so I may have went in a little bit too much detail. Billy tells me I do that from time to time, and I may have said things a little bit too much in detail. If I did, I apologize. That is just what I'm used to doing day in and day out being a teacher. But thank you guys for tuning in and being with me today. And if you have any questions about packaging any kind of, well, I'm not familiar with all reptiles, but if you got any questions about ball pythons, crested geckos, or Western hognose, packaging any of those animals, I'm glad to help you in any way I can. Until next time, guys, tune in to our other previous videos on YouTube for Rice Reptiles as well. And don't forget, remember those links, and we will provide you also with a link tree, and that link tree, you can click on it and go to all of our social media platforms. Until next time, guys, thank you.